You probably have heard of the word gaslighted, and you may have even experienced being gaslighted or even gaslighted somebody, but you probably did that subconsciously, or when it happened to you, you did not even know that this was what was occurring, and you're like, what exactly is this? Right? So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 7 common phrases that gaslighters use, so that you're going to be able to spot that this is, gaslighting at work when it does happen, or if it actually does happen. Hi, my name is 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐌𝐚𝐠𝐲. I'm a mindset coach. I share content on mindset related topics, mental health, and emotional well-being to basically help you upgrade your mind, your life, your business, and your finances. So if you love content on any of these things, do subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because it's easier for you to get notified when next I drop a video on this channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 7 common phrases that gaslighters use. But the first question is, what exactly is gaslighting? So gaslighting occurs when someone tends to say things or do things that makes you question your own perception of reality. So I'm going to give you the common phrases that they use, and then you're going to be able to like, oh my goodness, I was gaslighted in this particular area. You're going to be able to, know that. So it's a form of emotional abuse that people tend to use when they want to excuse themselves of the blame and then push it onto someone else. So gaslighters basically do not love to take the blame for anything. They would always love to push it onto you and want you to take the blame for everything. So it's kind of like a psychological, emotional abuse, right? And you want to be aware of these signs, you want to be aware of these phrases, so that you know exactly, because they do this and it makes you start disbelieving yourself. It makes you start developing self-doubt for yourself, because it makes you question your reality, and you're like, oh my goodness, did this really happen, or is it that I do not know what I was doing, or I do not know what I was saying? All of these things, all of those thoughts could actually make you start doubting your own self and doubting your reality and doubting if you're saying if you're alright or something like that. Alright, so on to the common phrases that gaslighters use. One of them is, number 1, you are overreacting. Now, when something happens, you probably you get into an argument with them, and you're trying to express your feelings, you're trying to express your disapproval of what was done or what was said, and they tell you that you are overreacting. Now, we all have the right to react however we want. As long as we're not hurting the next person, we have the right to, express ourselves, express what it is that we feel like the wrong was wrongly done to us. So if they're constantly telling you that, oh, you're overreacting, that is a gaslighting red light. Number 2, they say something like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So you confront them about something that probably was done to you, and you tell them everything and you bear your heart open, and you're like, oh, you did this and that, and I do not like it. And they just kind of like act surprised, act like they are unaware that it ever happened. They act like, and it makes you feel stupid, because you're like, I don't get it, this thing happened. And they just like, I don't get it, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Of course they know what you're talking about, but they just want you to question your own reality, so that you do not lay the blame on them, and then this way they are able to excuse themselves of the blame. Like I said, gaslighters love to excuse themselves of the blame. So they'll tell you that, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, and it feels like you're talking trash, you're talking nonsense, and you don't, and what you're talking about did not actually happen, and you're probably just making things up, right? So that's another phrase. Then number 3, they tell you that, oh, that's not what happened. Maybe you're trying to tell them, oh, this and this and this and that happened, maybe in a situation or a fight that happened between you both, and they're telling you that, oh, that is not what happened. That is exactly not what happened. And they tell you, when they tell you that's not what happened, you are taken aback at first, because you're like, I was there. I experienced all of this. What do you mean by that's not what happened? and they tend to want to paint a different scenario, a different picture of what they think or what they say happened, right? So this is one other common phrase that they use. And then another phrase, which is just almost like this last one, is the fact that they say, oh, you're imagining things. So you probably complain to them about things that happened, or things that they did or something, and they're like telling you that, oh, you're just imagining things, it's not real. So this again makes you question your reality, and you start thinking, am I actually sane? When they say I'm imagining things, am I really imagining things? Am I really making all of these things up? So they tell you that you're making things up, and you feel like, oh, you've told them your truth, but they do not accept it. They feel like you are making things up. Another phrase that they use is that they say that, oh, you're not making any sense. So you're trying to explain something to them, and in all of your explanation, the best they will tell you is that you're not making any sense. You sound crazy. You're talking trash. You're talking nonsense. Alright? When they tell you that you're not making any sense, you tend to feel like, oh, maybe I'm actually not making sense. Maybe I should actually stop talking. I should just shut up and not say any more words. So this is basically what they're doing. They're gaslighting on you, and tend to make you want to doubt your own self, and make you start disbelieving yourself. You start to lose confidence in yourself, especially when they say stuff like, oh, you're not making any sense. Number 6 phrase that gaslighters use is stop exaggerating the situation. Again, they want you to question your reality, or your perception of reality. They want you to make you feel like, oh, it didn't happen, and maybe I'm just making things up. Maybe I'm just making all of these things up. And then you begin to be like, oh, did this actually really happen? You're probably trying to explain to them, what they did, and how it affected you, and then they're like, oh, you're adding things that didn't actually happen. You're exaggerating things. You're making things up, right? So that's another phrase that they use. So the final and 7th phrase that they use is, if anything, I'm actually the one who should be mad at you. Again, this happens a lot in relationships, and this is their own way of wanting you to take all the blame. Gaslighters will never take the blame for anything. If there's a misunderstanding, there's a fault, there's a quarrel, a fight, anything, you are at fault. You are to be blamed. And that's basically how gaslighters act, right? So they are putting the blame on you, and you're like, if anything, I'm actually the one that should be mad at you, right? So you're kind of like letting them know that something they did or something they said hurt you. And they're like, what? Me? Hurt you? Right? And they're like, no. If anything at all, I should be the one demanding an apology, right? I should be the one asking you to apologize to me. Anything at all, I'm actually the one who's supposed to be mad at you, and not you being mad at me. And you're like questioning your own feeling, right? So these are some of the telltale phrases, the signs that you're being gaslighted. So let me know in the comments. Let me know if you've been gaslighted before, and if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. It's going to help the YouTube algorithm to show this video to more people, and also share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Turn on the notification bell. Until next time that I come your way again, my name is 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐌𝐚𝐠𝐧𝐞, and it's a bye-bye.